Good evening, my accomplices. Today on the agenda, a genocide is happening halfway across the world, but it's being funded by our taxpayer dollars. That's right, your money is being used to fund a genocide. So here's what we're going to do about it. Miss Kiesha, Lee, Kill, Darius. This is a website that you can go to, ceasefiretoday.com. All that it really does is advocate for a ceasefire, an end to the conflict. The state of Israel is indiscriminately destroying the state of Palestine. Civilians from both sides have died in this conflict, and I don't want this to continue. Not only because war is bad and civilians shouldn't be dying, but because my money being sent from our government is funding these bombs that are hitting hospitals and homes of innocent people. Miss Kiesha, if I can get you to, at the very least, look at this website, if I can get you to send this video to one person, even if it's just Khalees, if you're watching this, what's good, I guess, then I will know that I have helped the people that I care about fight for change. Miss Kiesha already knows what to do, but Lee, I know how this looks. This probably sounds like I'm filled with propaganda or that I've been manipulated by the media. Lee's perspective is super rational. She wants to know what's going on, and she wants a little more proof before she starts advocating for a group that she doesn't actually know yet, which is totally understandable, and I respect that. So it's not enough for me to say that this conflict has just turned into a genocide. What do I mean by that? How did we get here? Well, let's talk about it. So anyways, World War I just ended, and Europe was still largely anti-Semitic. The UK bought some land in the Middle East. They bought a country called Palestine. World War II happened, the Holocaust happened, and that managed to create a huge group of displaced Jewish people. The Zionists saw this as an opportunity to guilt-trip Europe in order to have land in the Middle East. The UK totally folded because the Holocaust was bad, so, you know, it's kind of easy. And the Zionists got what they wanted. Hold on a minute. What is a Zionist? A Zionist is someone who supports having an ethno-state for the Jewish people. An ethno-state for the Jewish people. An ethno-state. Didn't y'all just fucking... The Zionists don't care about following their scripture. They don't care about being Jewish. They care about power. They care about ethnic purity. Right, so cool, the Nazis are back. Oh God, the Nazis are back. Israel has been occupying Palestine for the past 75 to 80 years. So what's different about what's happening right now as opposed to the past 7 or 8 decades? Well, how uncivil. Palestine hasn't been a whole entity for a majority of its modern existence. It's been owned by the neighboring countries, Jordan and Egypt, and it has been slowly but assuredly ground down and taken apart by Israel. In the east, there is the West Bank, and in the west, there is the Gaza Strip. This little strip of land is enclosed, fenced off by the Israeli government. Even at its best, it's been considered an open-air prison. But if we're telling the truth, it's a concentration camp for Palestinians. A militant group, known as Hamas, emerged from the Gaza Strip on October 7th, tore down that wall, and then proceeded to kill 1,400 Israeli civilians, taking 200 civilians as hostage. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, their response was to launch a ground attack, killing 10,000 Palestinians. They're bombing Gaza indiscriminately. They don't care about saving the hostages. They're gonna die too. There are more civilians, more martyrs, more violence, and they get to frame it as defense because they were attacked first by Hamas. Israel has a known history of meddling in Palestinian elections, so don't fall for Zionist propaganda. Israel is only a refuge for queer people in the Middle East, technically, because it's very hard to fight for queer rights when you're trying to fight for your damn life. We go look over to the West Bank and we see that there are 144 Israeli settlements in the West Bank, supposed to be Palestinian owned, and it's Israel that's living there, still. in the West Bank. It's no surprise that a conservative, militant, extremist group arose out of an open-air prison where their land is being destroyed, their utilities, electricity, and water are being turned off. So here's a clip filmed by Bazan. She is a social media influencer who lives in Palestine and is somehow, against all odds, miraculously, surviving against this genocide.
Hey everyone, this is Bisan from Gaza, and I want to say that standing for Palestine is not standing against any religion. It's not standing against any people. It's not anti-Semitic. It's just standing for justice, for a people's human rights that have been violated for decades, of course, but at least for the last 40 days, you've been seeing everything happening, and you have the right to say no to genocide, because basically it's against humanity. Our enemy are not the Christians, are not the Jews, or not any other else, because we've been killed in Gaza. Most churches, Christians and Muslims. It has nothing to deal with religions or with any people, with any race. It's just standing for justice, because kids, women, men, innocents, civilians, schools, hospitals, streets, cities, everything was destroyed. And they are preventing us from going back to our homes. They are invading Gaza, they are besieging Gaza, and you need to be against this because it's against humanity. Just this.